Hello and welcome. I'm White Guy 7 and this is Water Tanks. Today I'm going to give you a review of the Centurion Mk.1, which is a tier 8 British medium tank. Well, I say it's a review, but it's actually more of a rant. Right. Yes. The Centurion Mk.1. Biggest pain in my ass. You see, the thing is, the thing that encompasses the three main values of the tank is firepower, mobility, and protection. Not necessarily in that order, but that is so-called the golden triangle of tanks. Well, the thing is, this tank doesn't excel in any of three of those categories. Well, maybe it does excel slightly, very slightly in firepower, but that's debatable. Anyway, first of all, let's talk about protection. Not that kind of protection. The armor kind of protection. Right. So this thing, a lot of people, especially a certain British YouTuber that always says, "Oh, the Centurion 1 has a very good gun mantlet." Well, yes, it does. But have you seen the size of the gun mantlet really in relatively to the size of the turret itself? It's less than half. Well, it's barely half. Barely. Half of the main part of the turret. Because in order for this thing to, you'd think that having good gun mounted armor would probably mean that it works very well in a hold down position. But it doesn't. Because it only works in very specific conditions, i.e. it's being hulled down and shooting from a higher ground onto enemy tanks that are lower than it. Because if those conditions are not met, it will get penetrated in the turret from the front. If it's on level ground, it will get penetrated right on the top right here, because this is technically considered a weak spot, because it's only about 20 something millimeters of armor, even though it says 152 millimeters of frontal turret armor, which is only basically here and here. So, right, on level ground it will get penetrated. If the enemies are higher than you, your turret will get penetrated. If they decide not to shoot at your gun mantlet, it will get penetrated. Unless something like a T-34-85, which only has about 120 something millimeters of penetration, then it wouldn't be able to go through the cheeks. But honestly, at tier 8, everything else can penetrate it, that 152 millimeters of armor. So the turret is, well, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it and own up to it, that the turret is garbage in terms of armor. Right, I've said it. Now let's move on to the hull. Oh boy, does it get worse. The hull, yes, it says it has 76 millimeters of armor and it's sloped and everything. Yeah, and it's not going to help anyone. And this tank, especially this tank, you must, and I mean must, fight in a hull down position, or else you will kiss your driver and your ammo rack goodbye, or your repair kit and your first aid kit. But generally when you fix up both of them, you will probably gonna get them knocked out again if you don't go hull down. Anyway, so that's the armor. Armor, as you can see, is nothing that impressive whatsoever. It's terrible. Right, so now I've covered armor, protection, Now let's move on to mobility. Mobility of this tank is, for medium tank at least, it's terrible. It's terrible for medium tank. For a heavy tank though, it's pretty good. But you see, that's the thing. This tank, it's sort of half heavy, half medium tank. It just doesn't want to be. And it's not to say it picks the best of both worlds. It's the worst of both worlds. Kind of. Because, yes, it does have 750 horsepower, which is the most of any tier 8 medium tanks, which also gives it the highest power to weight ratio of any medium tank, which is actually 16.66 horsepower per ton. However, its top speed is only 40 kilometers an hour. Yes, it doesn't sound like very bad top speed, but bear in mind 40 kilometers an hour is a heavy tank standards of top speed. So if you want to do like flanking maneuvers, which you usually do in medium tanks, it'll take some time. So the thing about the Centurion is when you see an enemy, you can't flank them. You must dig in, even if it means death. Because that's how this thing works, by digging in and hiding your hull. So concealment, nothing really bothers here. Now, on to the third part of the golden triangle of tanks is its firepower. Well, firepower, again, it's a little bit mixed bag of heavy tanks and medium. Because the thing is, this tank has god-awful DPM. This 20-pounder gun has god-awful DPM. Why does it get such god-awful DPM? I have no idea. That's for Wargaming to answer. But you can see here, the thing is, it has pretty good gun depression and actually has very good penetration for its gun, which is actually 226mm with armor piercing. Yes, its average damage is actually lower than just about every other tier 8 medium tank, but it's only by 10 damage, which isn't too bad. But the rate of fire is actually slightly worse than most tier 8 medium tanks, so its total DPM is actually the worst out of anything that's tier 8 and medium at tier 8. Right, so enough of me ranting. Now to move on about equipment. Equipment, probably go with gun rammer, a coated optics, a binocular telescope, and vents. That's basically it. Now I put Camonad because I put Camonad on everything. Consumables, I go with the standard 3, which is small barricade, fire extinguisher, and first aid kit. But realistically, you want to remove the fire extinguisher for another first aid kit or another repair kit. Now, crew skills, personally I just go with repairs first and whatever you like after that. So now let's just move on to some other gameplay. Alright then, the first replay here is the tier 8 match on Westfield. And since we're starting on this side of the map, it's not fast enough and not advisable to go to the other side of the map, so make do with what you have. And in fact, this is actually a very good position for Centurion 1 to be just poking ridge lines and missing first shots. Yeah. Aside from that, I mean, this is really a good spot for Centurion, because this is what Centurion is very good at. Just poking ridge lines. And then bouncing the second shot. Well, to be fair, I did did dodge a shot from that Oni. Not that difficult because it wasn't that accurate anyway. But did dodge that shot from artillery though. And now just trying to find the right moment to pull out to do damage to the T-34, and the Oni missed again. So to reload and pull out just in case. Wait for it to aim. Because nobody's really shooting at me except for artillery guy who managed to damage my gun. So I repaired the gun, pull out and bounce a shot from the back deck of the T-34 onto and then I ended up killing him by shooting him through the tracks, which I actually was kind of surprised. And artillery took a shot and barely hit me. Very close to hit him, not barely. Sorry. What I'm saying is, as you can see here, I'm just trying again, poking the ridge lines. Ow! That was a big hit from artillery. Half my health. Very painful. But I don't blame them because that's what artillery does. You know, they like shooting at stationary targets sitting in open fields. So if you don't want to get hit by artillery, probably don't sit in an open field and drive in a straight line, because anyone with a brain knows how to shoot straight, right? Right? Anyway, according to my common sense, by looking at the map, I noticed that the other flank is completely open all the way to our base, so I decided to turn around and see what I can do about that. And I come over here, look around and spotted an FV4202, decided to take a shot at the FV4202, and I end up taking a hit from a Comet, 2 hits from the Comet, and another hit from the Comet again, and he damaged my engine and put me on quite low health, and hit my tracks again. So I got my tracks up just by waiting because I had this repair kit, so I decided to stay in this location because A, if I try to cross, the Comet will kill me, and I have no idea what else is over on that side of the ridge. And B, this is a very nice bush because there's a light tank in front of me that I can use for cover, like solid cover. So I just sit around waiting for someone to spot something, and SC-100 spots. I put one shot and someone else put another shot, and someone else finish him off. So just pull back a little bit, reload, just in case I was spotted, because I don't have 6th sense on this yet. So I just push forward to see what I can spot. Excuse me. And I put a couple shots in the FV4202 before somebody else finishes him off. Come on, reload. There we go, and he is dead. And as expected, I saw a Super Pershing coming down the other end of the ridge, trying to. I have no idea what to do because that is not a wise move, but anyway. One shot and the second shot that reloaded killed him. And while I was reloading, the rest of the team spotted the Comet and that M12. Props to him for not suiciding and going full TD mode on everywhere. And that's basically what I did for this game. Right, so in that game I earned a second class mastery badge, spotted ribbon and 5 effects, spotted a bunch of tanks, damaged a bunch of tanks. Ended up second highest in the team for experience earned, and pretty much quite as high in damage as well. Okay, so 17 shots fired, 13 hit, 10 penetrated, 2,196 damage done, and of which 1,386 were done 300 meters away. Received 7 hits, 5 penetrated, 2 bounced. Not bounced, not penetrated, but 1 splash damage hit. Probably that, I don't know. 5 vehicles spotted, and did 1,862 spotting damage. And on a rare instance, I actually made money playing the Centurion 1, as you can see there, even after minusing repairs and consumables. Because here is 913 experience, 45 for experience, and that's pretty much it. So let's move on to the next replay. Right, so this time it's also a tier 8 match, but it's on the Tundra map. Yeah, that's right, the Tundra map. Yeah, so it started off very boring, I guess. No? Kind of. The majority of the team is going to the hill on the 0 line. You'd think that this tank would do well over there, but actually it probably won't. Even though, yeah, you can go hull down pretty reasonably there. But it just won't work because the tanks that probably going to be shooting at you is going to shoot at you from the top down. And like I said, that bit that's sort of slope above the gun mantlet and sort of the turret roof, not really turret roof, I don't know is it really turret roof or not, but it's going to get penetrated there. And here you're going to see in a moment the ammo rack getting damaged by a shot through the front. But at first I just come to this corner, usually is where everyone comes. Right, I'm going to pause right there. You can see that beautiful bounce. And you can see that shot actually went into the lower plate and damaged the ammo. If it had hit the other side of the lower plate, it probably killed the driver. Now I'm back to replay. So now, it doesn't, isn't feeling very well after taking that hit, so we decided to pull back and try my luck again. And this time, as you can see, gun depression is good, but on that kind of slope, it's not enough. And behind that IS-6 followed around a T-54 first prototype and an IS-3. So since the T-54 prototype and IS-3 is behind the other side of the other small hill, so got a pretty decent cover from them. And this is, again, you want to be, constantly moving when you're playing the Centurion 1. You don't want to be sitting still, because if you're sitting still, they can aim for your relatively large weak spot, which is basically the top above the gun mantlet. So as you can see, I finished off. Well, not I didn't finish it off. The T-34 behind me finished off the IS-6, and at this point, I basically, well, at least I like to think I did, basically hold the IS-3 and the T-54 first prototype behind the rock by myself, because that's what it felt like at the time, and I'm gonna roll with it. So just trying to hold them back behind the rock so that hoping that the T-34 behind there would actually move up and help. Yeah, I know he's helping, but helping from distance is not as effective as moving up closer, especially with the T-34, which has actually have good turret armor. So as you can see, yeah, the T-34 is trying to help from way back there. I mean, he is moving forward now, but you know, it's not that great for T-34 to snipe, at least in my opinion. Not that I have one, but as you see here, I put a shot right through the front of the turret of the T-54 Mod 1, no, first prototype, whatever you want to call it. And I finish him off and try to pull back. And the T-34 did took that hit from the IS-3. So I decided to, I was hoping he actually moved up forward a bit more, and that was actually a very lucky bounce because it bounced off the front of the hull, which I honestly it never happened before. This is like the first time. Anyway, so once I reloaded, tracked him, and pulled back. No, over here I'm trying to keep him tracked, but he pad his tracks and got out of the line of fire, and someone killed. I think he killed the T-34. And you can see the T-34 over there calling me a noob, but no. We had a fair fight. 2 versus 2, kind of. But I came with the one with the better one. The better one, meaning the one that's, actually alive. If I'm the noob, I would probably be the one dead. As you can see here, I put one shot into that IS-3 and oh, thank goodness only the tracks ate the shot. The tracks got repaired, pull out, no problem finishing them off. So at this point, as you can see, the team, yes, it's winning in terms of kills, but the ones that survived are the ones that went to the hill, went up the hill anyway. So it's a little iffy at the moment because it still can go either way. So I decided to continue pushing because reasons I don't know, because it felt like it. No, actually no particular reason anyway. So I thought that artillery would, judging by where it hit, for some reason I think it would be where I'm right now, but they aren't. So kept moving, driving skills there, top notch. And so I'm still, at this point, I'm still trying to look for artillery, not realizing that they're not there. So kept on pushing, and now we're losing in terms of kills by 1, which isn't, still again isn't too bad. So again, now I realize that artillery is probably sitting back here somewhere, and probably not, because a Chaffee, I think it was, that went in there and basically rooted them out of that hiding hole and died in the process. So they're very unlikely to be there. Again, looking at the map, I see that probably they're still going to be holed up on the hill, most likely. So I try to make my way there, and as you can see, now again we are leading in terms of kills, but not by much. And then we're not again. You see, that's the thing about a game of World of Tanks. It can swing, either way, just like that. But here comes the real moments of truth. There's 3 tanks left to kill, and they're probably on this hill. And oh, Scorpion, he killed him on the spot. FE304 took out a gunner, fed him, also aim, and boom, killed him on the move. Oh, and before I forget, this tank For equipment, it's not a bad idea if you get wet ammo rack as well. Yeah, as you can see here, at this point I don't really have a shot at that T44 100, so the Scorpion G is going to finish him off. And as you can see, it's also another second class mastery badge, a duelist ribbon, 5 for effects, and came third on experience and did 1805 damage, 4 kills, which isn't too bad. So overall I did fired 15 shots, 14 hit, 11 of them penetrated, doing 1805 damage. This time you can see here, blocked 319 damage from that IS-3. This time didn't really do that much spotting damage, only 449. And again, this is another one of those match where I actually made money playing the Centurion, which is nice. And also, as you can see that received 867 experience. Again, it's a first win of the day, which took me about 2 hours or so, which was very frustrating. Well, actually not really 2 hours, more 1 hour, but still very frustrating. And there you have it, folks, the Centurion Mk.1. Personally, I like to think of this like a kind of ex-girlfriend. The kind of ex-girlfriend that, you just can't get along with that person, and you hate that person so much. But at the end of the day, it just probably just means that you two weren't meant to be together. Or that, in this case, you just suck in it. I don't know. It could be anything. However, if someone else can do better with it, so be it. All the more power to you. But I ain't going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Personally, I'm not going to touch it much longer because I'm less than 5,000 experience away from unlocking the Centurion 7.1, which I would not be missing this tank much. I can assure you, if the Centurion 7.1 is just as bad as this, I'm gonna hate that thing just as much. So anyway, if you liked the video, just give it a thumbs up and tell me what you think about the video in the comments down below, and subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.